Our life journey is comprised of a multitude of events, short-term fleeting moments that together make up the entire story. Each day brings new opportunities, new challenges, and the way we deal with each one of them forms the story of our life and the history of our country. Life is like a long-distance run with a start, its ups and downs. But despite everything, day in and day out, we continue to move towards our goal. Together with our compatriots, citizens of neighboring countries also become part of this story. After having once come to our country, they found their aim here, established a business, and continue to work for the greater good. Dmitry Marov is the founder of Kazakhstan's market of advertisement. Dmitry was the first to set up a billboard on the streets of Almaty. This is how the story of establishment and development of the largest advertising holding in Central Asia began. In addition to running a business, Dmitry leads a healthy lifestyle, plays sports, and is an exemplary family man.
Ну, то, чем я занимаюсь, наверное, нельзя назвать спортом. Это физическая активность.
What I do probably cannot be called sports. It is more a physical activity. My work is quite sedentary, and that is why I set some kind of goals for myself. And this is to take 10,000 steps per day. I try to do this, and if I don't make 10,000 steps one day, then try to compensate for it the next. Overall, this is very important. I've always tried to keep myself in shape. For me, this is one of the main three elements: work, family, and physical activity. The three pillars holding up the successful businessman. But why this particular choice, and how does it affect our day-to-day life?
Человек, который способен встать в 6:30 утра на зарядку, невзирая.
A person who can get up at 6:30 in the morning to do the exercise, regardless of the weather, energy level, mood, or how they're feeling overall, also in real life can probably reach their goals. A long-distance run that lasts a lifetime. A low start, high goals, unique journey. Dmitry believes that every person makes their own choice and shares his wisdom with us.
Жизнь довольно бессмысленная штука, и
Life is quite meaningless in itself. It is the person who fills it with meaning. It is like a pot, empty. You can pour some water in and boil eggs. That may do for some, but it is also possible to make something more interesting, but that will take more work and efforts. And in the end, when you look back at your life, you can decide what you were able to prepare in this pot. The story which we will be telling you today commenced more than 20 years ago, when Kazakhstan established itself as an independent state, when everything had to be started from scratch, and it was necessary to look for new opportunities.
Это были американские инвестиции. Тогда, в начале 90-х, это было начало 94-го года, в начале 90-х.
These were American investments. Back in the 90s, in 1994, the United States was very interested in Kazakhstan, so there was a lot of money coming in from there. A bank was established using American Kazakhstan's funds, the Texaco Bank. And this bank had a company into which the American Investment Fund also invested money. Dmitry came to a new country with the entire family to develop the advertisement market, which was new for Kazakhstan. The wife of the Soviet army officer had already gotten used to travels, and sometimes reminisces of the first months of adaptation in her new place.
Ничего не знала об этой стране и ни разу здесь никогда не была до того, как мы сюда приехали, 20 лет тому назад.
I didn't know anything about this country and never been here before coming 20 years ago. Overall, just like any person, I expected something comfortable and positive. In terms of comfortable to a great extent, I mean from an emotional point of view. Still, there were some worries, but overall, everything turned out very well. Dmitry became one of the founders of Kazakhstan's advertisement market in the mid-90s. Having come to Kazakhstan with fresh ideas, opportunities, and investments, he made the first steps in starting this great endeavor, which he continues to this day.
Когда я сюда приехал в 94 году, в самом начале 94 года, рынка как такового вообще не было.
When I came here at the beginning of 1994, there wasn't really a market, just some projected ideas. We immediately took on US standards, concluded an agreement with the help of our American partners with the US company Metro Media Technologies. They were the only ones at that time who printed on vinyl using the photocomputer method. And we were the first ones in the CIS to put up prints on vinyl in Almaty using the photocomputer method. Everything looks so beautiful right now here. Flowers, butterflies, skyscrapers, junctions. But in 1994, it was not that beautiful, and we simply tried to give their city's residents a dose of positivity. That beautiful young woman, I think it turned out quite well. Right here where today there is the Kazakh Bank and KFC, our first LED display was set up. You can see how much everything has changed. Here a display, there a display on the building, on the Palace of Sports. And back then there was nothing like this, even in Moscow. Ours was the first in the CIS. Life goes on, and one has to rush to be the first. To bring the idea is just the beginning. Then, just like in a long-distance run, a lot of work follows in order to achieve results. The street advertising market had a successful start and continued to develop thanks to the effort of Dmitry. But just like any successful person and businessman, he did not intend on stopping there.
Вы знаете, у нас много было интересных проектов. Все проекты, которые мы делали, они в первую очередь нравились нам как проекты, а во вторую очередь мы пытались на них заработать деньги.
You know, we had a lot of interesting projects. All the projects that we did, we first of all liked them as projects, and then we tried to earn money with them. We've never done anything just for the sake of earning money. And the project with the radio station, we first started it for fun. We concluded an agreement in Moscow with our radio and started to rebroadcast. And in reality, it was not so much about the money. It was interesting for us and successful. Overall, there was a radio station, a project of which we're at least not ashamed of. And the second project was the organization of the festival Open Air Нашествие. This was within the framework of the rebroadcasting of the national radio. But this was a separate project. The festival was the main event. And its organization was also not easy, but memorable. Aside from large and interesting business projects, for already a long time Dmitry has been interested in and supporting the social sector in the country. In particular, one example of this is the support of a School of Visual Arts at the Kostev Museum.
Наша дружба с Дмитрием Вячеславовичем началась еще в 1999 году. Тогда наша школа только-только выходила из кризиса, вставала на ноги и крепла.
Our friendship with Dmitry started in 1999. At that time, our school was just overcoming the crisis and was getting back on its feet. And our day-to-day work included carrying out a large UNESCO project, Children Draw the World. It was dedicated to the creative art of children from all over Kazakhstan. We needed the billboards. We needed to put up the artwork made by the children. So I turned to Dmitry. He was always interested in everything that we do. And of course he said that his doors are always open for the children of Almaty and of Kazakhstan. I was recently in his office and saw very interesting works of art done using a very unusual technique. I wondered who was the author. I was sure he brought them from abroad. And he said that they were done by his daughter, who at some point attended some lessons at our school. And I was pleasantly surprised that despite being far away from home, she was still able to get a feel for the atmosphere. Whether it is in Kazakhstan or native Ukraine, Kharkiv, she was able to brightly and boldly express what she feels on the canvas. Of course, life in Texas and life in Kazakhstan are different. I especially miss the family, the traditions, the friends with whom I went to school. I miss the food, everything that is lacking in the West. In the West, the life is simpler, not as exquisite. In Kazakhstan, life is more diverse, and in the US, everything is very standardized. But it is not a good thing to be homesick. The end of the 1990s and beginning of 2000s in Kazakhstan were distinguished by high growth and prospects. New opportunities appeared unexpectedly. A simple alignment of circumstances and novelties on the market helped inaugurate a new set of services in advertisement, business expansion, and additional profits.
Ко мне обратились буквально несколько моих друзей из рекламных агентств, которые попросили разместить рекламу в эфире.
A couple of my friends from ad agencies approached me and asked to have their commercials aired on some of Kazakhstan's television networks or Russian channels which we broadcast. I remember that I hired 2 people, allocated a small office space, and there we started working on getting the commercials on air. This was the beginning of the Das Marketing holding. A big tree starts its growth from a small spurt. A long journey starts with the first steps. In order to achieve big results, it is not enough to simply start. The efforts made throughout the entire process of development are also important.
То, что так получилось, это отнюдь не моя заслуга как единственного персонажа. Ну, во-первых, у меня есть партнер, который...
The way everything happened, this was not just my achievement as an individual. First of all, I have partners who have made a substantial contribution to the business. Second of all, there is a collective of people who have been working with me for many years and have also made a valuable contribution. The joining of all these efforts has allowed us, in a period of 20 years, to create perhaps the largest independent advertisement network in Central Asia. Zoresh Subahanova has been the director of the ad agency Aghain and Rubicom in Kazakhstan since 2007. She's worked in Dmitry's company for more than 9 years and knows him as a unique individual, strong professional, a leader and a manager.
Я уже с ним стала работать, когда он уже был Дмитрием Маровым. Был очень известным на рынке. Дасу уже было что-то около 10 лет.
I started working with him when he already became the Dmitry Marov. He was very well known on the market. Das Marketing, around 10 years ago, was already a very popular agency, and everyone knew who Dmitry Marov was. I was very surprised to find out that he's a very humble person, calm and easy to communicate with. His professional qualities, they're probably inseparable from his qualities as a person, because he's come a long way in his life, not just in the advertisement industry. First and foremost, he has a very extensive life experience, and this life experience, understanding of people helps in our business, which is built on relations with clients, understanding their needs, marketing tasks, and so on. And he gives very wise advice. Mikhail Patin, manager for the region of Central Asia and the CIS at the Moscow office of the Group M, the worldwide advertisement holding WPP, has been stably cooperating with the Kazakhstani holding Das Marketing for already 10 years.
С Дмитрием мы познакомились приблизительно 10 лет назад. Тогда возникла необходимость помочь группе компаний Das Marketing в приобретении сетевых бизнесов.
I first met Dmitry around 10 years ago. At that moment, a need arose to help a group of companies of Das Marketing to procure chain businesses. This was the scenario. There was a great group of companies, Das Marketing, with their advertising business, with their outdoor advertisement business, creative agencies, media agencies. At some point, a need arose to reach a new level, get access to international clients and international technologies, what we call the advertisement network business. That same year, I visited Kazakhstan for the first time, took a look at how business is developing. Everything was quite interesting. We started cooperating. All this resulted in, starting from 2006, the Das Marketing group of companies became the exclusive partner of the Group M company, where I work, and which unites the businesses of the WPP holding, a British holding. For the last couple of years, this has been a world leader in the advertisement and communication industry. To not be afraid of life and to move with the times. This is the slogan of the company. The end of the 2000s also brought on new trends and tendencies to the economy, politics, and the advertising market. The trends of globalization, unification of markets, countries, the opening of borders have taken on a certain shape. This defined the direction for the development of our company, entrance onto new markets, new geographic territories.
За годы работы дас-маркетинга не только в Казахстане мы сделали некую экспансию, хорошую, профессиональную.
Over the years of DAS marketing operations not just in Kazakhstan, we have sort of conducted an expansion of our activities, professional, to other countries of the CIS and Mongolia. This was interesting because today there are very many opportunities, technologies about which my colleagues told me before. There are many markets where this is just starting, where our professionalism is needed, where there is a lot of space for a client to maneuver in terms of sales and advertisement. We decided not to limit ourselves on the flight of our imagination and decided to take on key directions, countries such as the Caucasus and Central Asia, including Mongolia, and to open and develop our affiliate offices. To be successful in the advertisement sphere of business is a good indicator for a business person and a company. But how interesting is Kazakhstan's advertising market in itself?
Давайте очень простой пример. Если российский бизнес приблизительно $5 миллиардов в этом.
Let's take a very simple example. The industry in Russia brought in around $5 billion. In Ukraine, probably 10 times less. And Kazakhstan, perhaps 2 times less than Ukraine. Therefore, among the countries of the former Soviet Union, Kazakhstan is in 3rd place in this respect. Entrance onto new markets is interesting because of the potential of establishing bilateral relations. The presence of the holding on new markets gives an opportunity to develop new partnerships. New investments come into Kazakhstan thanks to the offices that were opened in the nearby regions. Thanks to the presence of agents on the spot, many people want to place advertisements in Kazakhstan. They know the possibilities of DAS marketing and often approach with proposals. For example, companies from Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan to make advertisement campaigns in Almaty or Astana, where there is a demand for this, and it already exists. Life is like riding a bicycle. You cannot stop pedaling. If you do, you fall. It is necessary to keep on moving, and we always continue developing. In this way, a small agency that started with one small step, with the first billboard in Almaty, developed into a large corporation who takes part in the establishment of an entire segment of the economy, an advertisement market which operates and develops in accordance with the trends of the market, which introduces innovation and forecasts the foreseeable future. Today is the year 2016. We're probably still in shock from the devaluation of August of 2015. And what is a good thing that there's no such phenomenon in the advertising industry as budget cuts. We call it optimization. This is an excellent opportunity to do better and more for less money. And precisely this shows the degree of professionalism of various agencies, which can reorganize their operations depending on the situation at hand and to provide high-quality results in media distribution. Denis also came to Kazakhstan at some point for work and after some time decided to stay.
Так получилось, что я задержался, я уже, в принципе, стал казахом, у меня жена казашка, у меня ребенок казашка. Да.
It turned out that I stayed longer and almost became a true Kazakh. My wife is Kazakh, my child is Kazakh. I can probably call myself Kazakhstani. Also, Kazakhstan is a very welcoming country. My father guarded the Soviet Union border with China. My grandmother spent some time in Karaganda during the World War II occupation. I owe a lot to Kazakhstan, and I'm also trying to contribute something positive to this country.
Казахстан – одна из немногих стран, которую на глобусе видно, да? Вот многие уже даже и не помнят, как этот глобус выглядит.
Kazakhstan is one of the few countries which is visible on the globe. Many people do not even remember what a globe looks like. In the case of Kazakhstan, it is very easy to find it on the map, and this is a big plus. Of course, a population of 16 million is quite an attractive market for anyone. In terms of investments, I cannot speak about all our clients, but at least in the sphere of fast-moving consumer goods, I can see investments flowing in. Nobody is leaving the market, at least based on the knowledge of our clients. Many of them are strengthening their business here.
Каждый, кто приехал сюда, я не знаю ни одного человека, который приехал бы к нам в гости.
I do not know of anyone who had come to visit here for work or holidays that they would leave dissatisfied. Everyone comes here with great pleasure and tells that they felt great in Kazakhstan. We were born in different countries and commenced our life journeys differently. But in the process of this long path, people of different states developed something in common. And this is not just a common business, a calling, or work. This is the hospitable land of Kazakhstan, where the opportunities for a happy life are equally spread for people from different countries.